Good morning, families. I am going to show you the Apple vocabulary activity today. Um, my plan was to have my kids do it and show you just that example. Unfortunately, life gets busy and we just have a lot going on at night, and so we haven't been able to do it at home. So I'm going to show you here today and just give you some strategies to help make this, help modify it based on your kids and where they're at. So you got this great page from Miss Shelby, and it has all these different Apple vocabulary words that we are talking about and working on in the classroom. So this is a great opportunity for them to practice and learn these words at home, and it's a fun way to create a game. So first step is to cut them out, right? And I know for most of the kids in the classroom, this is a lot to cut out, right? That you see this page and this is a lot for our little friends with their teeny hands. So, and they're still building hand strength. So we don't expect that they can cut this whole thing out. What you can do to modify it is you can cut it into strips. So there's two ways you could do it. You could cut it long, so then they have to cut out 3 lines, or you can cut it the shorter way and they have to cut 2 at a time. And just base it on your kids. Like if they're able to do all of it, great. And if you can section it out for them to make it a little simpler, that's fantastic. If they need more support, or say cutting is just not their favorite, it's not the thing they love to do, start smaller, and that's okay. Have them just cut out 1 strip for now. One thing that I would recommend doing, because it might be hard for them to figure out where to track, you can take a black marker or any kind of dark colored marker, and then you can just make a nice thick line for them to follow along and cut on. That's just a nice tip, strategy that helps our little friends focus on where to cut, because they might see that and be like, I don't know what you want me to cut, and they just start snipping, which is a great stage that they may be at. And if that's okay, if they're at that stage and they're not at a stage where we're cutting along, maybe practice this, and then if it's too hard, you can just get some strips of paper and have them practice cutting the strips of paper while you cut out the squares too. So that's another strategy. So I just drew in some nice thick black lines so it's really obvious where I'm asking them to cut. And then when we cut, preschoolers always cut with their thumbs up, and they need to use their helper hand. These are 2 strategies that we really work on a lot in the classroom. One thing you can do, because this tends to be how our preschoolers love to cut, and every little kid, that's just how they start out cutting. So some strategies: you can put a sticker on their thumb. You can put a little smiley face with some washable marker. That's always a big hit. And then just talk about, oh, can you see your sticker? Can you see your thumb, or can you see your smiley face? Because when your hand's like this, you can't see it. So you can also use the term, oh, make sure it's up towards the ceiling. We want them to be pointing up. And so just using that language so they start to get used to keeping their thumb up when they cut. And then when we cut, we just talk about safety and snipping and going cut, 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 or open, shut, open, shut. Those are language that I use as well. And so then when you have all of your lovely pictures cut out, you can do the activity part now. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do it at the table. If they're really into it and they want to sit while they're doing it, that's great. I recommend talking about the pictures first. What do you see? What are these? Naming them, and then having your student find them. So, okay, I want you to find, it's going to be tricky, but I want you to find the yellow apple, and then having them pick up and hand you the yellow apple or show you the yellow apple. You could also make it a game by saying, okay, I want you to put the cider on your shoulder. And so you can also teach body parts while you're doing this and make a game out of it like that, so they can stick it on their shoulder. They're following directions when they do that. Another way to do it is to describe it. So I want you to pick up the thing that you can drink. So think about what you can drink and having them pick up the one that they can drink. So they might pick up the cider in that moment. Or you can say, like Miss Shelby's example, it's something that you bake and eat. So what could you bake and eat? Well, maybe you pick up the pie because you bake a pie, or maybe you pick up the apple because we do bake apples. So there's multiple answers to some of these questions too. So it's just kind of wherever your kiddo's at and making it a fun game that way. The other thing, like another fun game you could do is to turn it over and have them pick one up and tell you what it is, or try to, you could just make it a game that way too. So there's lots of ways to do it, and just make it fun. That's the point of this, is just to build vocabulary in a really fun way. So hiding it around the room. So maybe you take 6 of the items. You don't want to, maybe 12 is too many. So limit, but do a variety of them so they see all of them. So apple tree, orchard, sorting, like the stem and those kinds of things, and then hide them around the room. So maybe one's on a couch cushion and one is by the door and the other one is by the sink or on their chair, and then having them go find it around the room. So this is another nice movement piece that you can incorporate in there, and just make fun with it, have fun with it, make it your own, make it work for your kiddo, because we do know, like whenever we create games, we always have lots of variation for it to meet the different needs of kids in class. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope that you enjoy playing this fun game with your kids. Bye, guys. Have a great day.